Today we are now going to learn how to work with the parallel dimension tools. Now parallel dimension tools are extremely useful for people who are into architectural design and things like that. So let's say we have two rectangles. Okay, let's give them a size that we can re-verify with. So let this be 7 tab 3 and let this be 7 tab 1.5. Got it? So now how do we work around them? The tab is your parallel dimension tool. So we come here, the first one is parallel dimension. Now how does this work? This as soon as you click over here, you can have your dimension, and then you click outside, you get it. You can come here, click the dimension, come down, and that's it. So when you zoom in, you see that this is 3 inches, this is 7 inches. On the unit of measure it will show. Now in this you can even define the prefix and the suffix, that is the prefix of the dimension line text. So let's say I put 0 0. So do you see 007, and in the suffix also if you put 00, you shall get something like this. So 7 inches will also come as when you add the zeros in the prefix and the suffix. So depending on what you want to do, you can even change your decimal point. Let's say you don't want a decimal at all, so it will show 7 inches directly, but I would choose that you at least have one decimal point, so that it works. Then if you want inches written, it will come in inches. In case you are not very sure of your type of dimension, you want the measurement in mm, it will directly get converted to mm once you choose mm as your unit of measure. Same with yards and so on and so forth. Okay, now your dimension will always be in hairline. If you want it thicker, so you can see, now this is hairline, this is 1 point. Let's make it more thick so you can see. So it will come that way too. The next is what you want as an arrow. You want these as arrows, you want these, so you could get creative here too, you know. Then you want, how do you want it? You want text above the dimension, so the text is gone up. You want text through, you want text below the dimension, so you could choose. You want text right in the center, and that would work when you're working with angular measurement, right? So it will work more effectively when you're working with angular. Force text horizontal, that no matter what it is, your text will always be horizontal. Or you want, you can draw a box around the text, so you can always play around with this. This is the distance from the object of the extension line. So let's say you want an offset. Okay, now I shall delete this dimension so that you can see well that what exactly happened with the other one. You see it has developed, it went on a slight offset from the exact point of origin. Yes, because I had said 0.8. Then extend overhang. So how much you want that overhang to extend in the negative direction. So that's how this is going to work. So the further you put this, the longer it's going to go. You see this? So let both of them be 0 and that's what you get. Fine. So even if you disable it, it will all come back. Now the next is our horizontal and vertical dimension. Now let's choose our next object. Now if you see, as I hover around it and I move and do things, once I've clicked, I'll get that. So I don't need to actually, this does both. So now in this particular thing, we saw this works purely with horizontal dimension only. Let's try and see if I can go diagonal. No, I can't. Okay, so this will only go horizontal and vertical, and therefore it gives you a more accurate output. Let's say that if I taken this parallel dimension and my line was slightly crooked, I would have got an output of 3.01 and not 3.0. So if you have very big artworks, the line could go crooked and your dimension could come wrong. So I would say if you have very big artworks, not as small as this, then I would say that you stick with horizontal and vertical dimension and parallel dimension for angular outputs. So any kind of angular output, for example something like this also could be very well achieved, you know, if you have something in the cross. Then you have angular dimension. Now, angular dimension, to do that, let's say that I want to get the angle of this. We all know it's 90 degrees, but let the computer decide. So you click on the adjoining node, keep your click press, go up to any point, release the click, and then come down to the next line and close it. And then again, how far you want that to come, you come there and you get 90 degrees. Now let's work with something that is a little more complicated. Now let's say I have the polygon, we come here, again we take angular dimension, come to the node, drag along the line, release your left click, come to the next line, click again, the left click, then come to a desired point and left click again. So that's when you know that this particular thing is 122.28 degree. So that's how angular dimension works. Last is segment. Segment, that what is the size of this segment. So it will give you 7. What is the size of this segment? It will give you 1.5. So you just need to come here and double click and it will give you. Okay, so you can even just double click, it will give you. So that's how you work on the size of the segment. Now what is leg call out? Let's assume that in this particular one, let's delete some of them so that there is more clarity. Fine. And I have a hole drill here. Now I want to show people that, you know, this particular hole is 0.18. Tab 0.18. Okay, so this hole is 0.18 by 0.18. Now here I will go for the call out and say this is 0.18 inches. So that's how you do it. You can change the direction of the call out slightly if you wish, that this particular product over here is 0.18. Now as we change the direction here, let's even see if we can change the font size. In bigger artworks it might not be this practical to have 12 point, so you can have as big a point size as possible depending on your size of the artwork. And that's the end of our whole dimension tool set. Thank you.